Okay, everybody, good afternoon and welcome to our class. Please, for today's session, remember yesterday we were talking about, I know you guys have told me already that you have experience doing essays in Spanish, and I think they are very similar to English, so I don't think we have a problem with that, but I feel more comfortable if we have this topic in a presentation. All right. Please head over workbook, page 33. Workbook, page 33. Here you have developing writing, how we can start writing an essay. Yesterday we agreed that an essay is a piece of writing in which you have to be clean, respectful, you have to understand the topic and express it in writing so the reader can find their own conclusion, right? People, when they read your essay, they must get an opinion. They must consolidate their opinions and, you know, get the facts straight from your essay. For this first topic about writing and talking about the essay, first I need some questions to be answered. Let's hear. Juan Carlos, are you there?
Hi, teacher.
Okay, I hear you. Good. Please, Juan Carlos, help me to answer these questions. This is an essay about the role of grandparents. I have two questions for you. First question. It depends on the answer, of course. First question. Have you met your grandparents? Are they still alive?
Yes.
This is an important question because sometimes people say no, or it's a very sensitive. Okay. Good.
Yes, some of them.
All right.
Not the four, but yes.
All right. Good. Now I want you to think about the grandparents that you spend your life with the most. Are they from your mother's side or from your father's side?
From my mother.
All right, from your mother's side. Now, what is the best memory you have when you were growing up, which includes your grandparents?
Well, there are a lot of things that I remember about
Pick one.
When I first learned to ride a bike.
Oh, okay. That's the best experience. You never forget. Second question. Does this mean that they help your parents to raise you, or were just visitors in your home?
Not exactly. Raising me was all about my parents, no my grandparents.
All right, sounds good. Thank you very much. I appreciate the answers. Now, I have an open question. Do you guys think that which is better, to hire a nanny, a babysitter, or having family members to help you with the raising up or bringing up of the children? Let's get some ideas in the chat. Well, as you all say, it's important, yes, to have family members helping raising the children. That's amazing. But then here's another question. Why? Why is better to have a family member, like a grandparent, for example, maybe a grand or a grandpa? Why is it better? Let me ask. You guys are not about volunteers, huh? You are all about getting questions directly. Maybe Jimena Baluarte. Hi, Jimena.
Hi, teacher.
Are you okay?
Yes, se cayó mi cartuchera.
Oh, I thought you fell down. I thought you fell over for the chair. All right, Jimena. In your opinion, why is it important to have family members helping the kids when they grow up and not strangers?
Because you already know them.
Of course, you already know them.
And because they have more experience. Yeah.
Yes. Imagine if you are a babysitter, right? And you're babysitting a kid. I don't know. So just imagine. And there's a situation which you cannot control. Would you panic or would you take control of the situation? What is your first reaction?
I take in control of the situation. But I don't have patience, so I think I will, yes.
Yes, you will scream your head off. All right, yeah,
Yeah.
I would do the same thing. When I didn't have experience, I think what Mr. Wong says, experience is everything. Thank you very much for participating. Okay, so that was the intro for today's class on developing writing, an essay about the role of grandparents. Sometimes people think grandparents' roles are just, to give you money when they visit you. But there's more than that. They share culture, they share family genealogy, family history, and lots of good food, delicious food, especially from grandmothers. Okay, now we have a tutorial on how to do a good essay. Pay attention and enjoy. All right, here it is. Guys, when we have to talk about an essay, there are some questions about what to do, what is it made of, how many words, I don't know, what should I do in order to get a great score, right? These questions have different answers, but I think I have summarized all of them in this presentation, so pay attention here. Okay, this one. Now, first of all, let's build our foundation for essays. We start with this one. Step number 1, analyze your essay task. When you have this question essay about, for example, your English teacher has talked to you guys about, I don't know, the rainforest, and there's an open question for the class. Why is it important to protect the rainforest in Peru? Answer to this question and include these notes. First note, nature. Second note, pollution. And third is your own note. You have to write your own note or your own idea about what to write in the essay. Maybe you have to connect it, it's not very complicated. You connect the idea and you say, probably, according to this topic, the role of taxpayers or maybe government issues with this. All right, here, before we start writing the essay, in step number 1, you must read the question carefully. My suggestion, underline keywords, underline them, because when you have to take this Cambridge B2 first exam, formerly known as FCE, you will be nervous. And if you are nervous, you can lose control of the situation. So it's better if you underline. Once you understand the essay, then it's okay. You can start developing everything. Second thing, read the 2 notes and add an extra one. They provide you with 2 notes to give you the energy, to give you that extra push you need in order to start with your essay. The third note that you will include is very important because it says a lot about you. It's how you can give your extra help in order to complete this masterpiece. Third case, third important topic that I include here. You must convince and shine. Yesterday and even today, I am repeating the same thing. If your reader will look at your essay and the first introduction, the first line, the first words are not interesting, they will not pay attention to it. They will probably read it, yes, but their judgment will change definitely from the beginning. You need to convince them. It's your moment to shine. Okay, the register is very important. For an essay, it's formal, which means you will write the essay to your teacher, not to your best friend, not to your brother or sister. You must remember that there are rules of writing. In this case, the register, which should be formal. What is formal, teacher? For example, when you use expressions such as, for example, you can replace it with other words such as since, in this case, or maybe if you don't want to use contractions, yes? You typically say, it's okay, oh, I don't know, I don't know, for example. You say, I do not know. Use full forms, not contractions in formal register. And if you have a special word that you normally use, take it out of the vocabulary, especially for the writing, because it's supposed to be a writing, not a speech. When you talk to a person in formal talking, for example, you can use expressions or words that are okay, but in this case, it's formal. And next one, think what you are to include. What you are about to include. Is my essay about something that I agree or I disagree? what are important things to include? In step 1, you need to write down a list, or what I call the brainstorming. You can brainstorm, take some notes, and that would be very important for you to include. And finally, you have to make sure that all the ideas are connected. If you talk about pollution or protection of the rainforest, you cannot talk about maybe, I don't know, fashion in London or in Italy. So everything is connected. You need to make sure that when you read your essay, one idea is connected to the next one, or one paragraph leads to the other one. This is very important. That's for step number 1. Okay, now we continue with step number 2. Plan is a must. Sometimes people say that improvisation or maybe being, dynamic is important. Yes, but I also believe that planning is really important. It's number 1. It's your priority. Before you do writing, or you start writing for the essay, you must know with maybe a mind map or a checklist what you're going to include in your essay. So, first indication, decide your conclusion first. What is it that you go for? Is it a pro or against? Your ideas are in favor of a topic, of the topic essay, or maybe against it? Are you going to include examples? Are you going to talk about something personal? You must decide how you ended up, how you concluded. Second instruction, plan the number of paragraphs. You can do an essay with 3. We just read an essay about grandchildren and grandparents, and it only has 3 paragraphs. You can do 3, 4, 5, 6, as many as you want. But remember, there is a word limit for B2 first exams, 140 to 190 words, no more than 200. You can you can pass it, you can exceed it for 5% of the total. If it's 190 words is the limit, you can overpass it in 5%. Okay, next point. The paragraphs, they must be connected to the conclusion. Yes, always think on that. When you finish your writing, you need to remember to ask this question. Do the paragraph connect to my conclusion? It's like a way to, or a path that leads the reader to the final point. So each one of these paragraphs must connect to the conclusion. Another instruction, which is very important. Each paragraph, they start with a topic sentence. A topic sentence in an essay is what it summarizes. It gives the essence of what the topic is in the paragraph. Yeah, very important to start with it. And my advice in these starting sentences or topic sentences, you must include the words that were referred to you in the notes, in the instruction on how to write the essay, no? And also the third one, which is your own. And the last instruction for step number 2, what is this paragraph about? When you finish your paragraph, read it and ask yourself this question. What is this about? If the answer is still part of your plan, then you have done a good job. If it's not, some way or another, you were a little lost, it's okay. You can go back to formula and restart over. So always try to do one more time. Just keep a page with the first draft. If it's not connected, if it's not complete, just leave it out, put it aside, and start over and take some ideas from the other paper. Okay, that's for step number 2. Step number 3 for an essay, it's what I call the free writing process. Free writing is what it says in the title. You have the liberty, you have the freedom to write all the words that you want, all the ideas, you're free. Don't worry about grammar mistakes. Don't worry about punctuation. Don't worry about redundancy. Just write freely. First instruction for this topic. Have you answered the essay question? When you're writing, you make sure that in your head, in your idea, it's the question of the essay. What is the content of your essay if you're still writing on it? Like I told you at the beginning, you will be nervous. And if you're nervous, you can also go to a different direction. So be careful, get focused on that. Next instruction, have you used topic sentences? Maybe you start writing and you lost track and you are new into this road. Remember, every paragraph must have a topic sentence. Third instruction to remember. Each topic sentence has a keyword from the notes. Like I said before, you can take the notes from the beginning of the instruction in the paper and underline important nouns, important concepts. Include them in your topic sentence. Next instruction. Topic sentences and paragraphs refer to the essay's idea, directly or indirectly. Don't forget that the paragraphs are the habitat of the idea. So the topic sentence must refer, infer to the idea of the essay. It can be directly, yes, using the answer of the question. Why is it important to protect the rainforest? I answer. It's important to protect the rainforest because of this and that. Or indirectly, when you say, well, things are difficult for, nature. Nowadays, we see people, they don't take control of pollution, garbage, wildfires, koalas, or even kangaroos, suffering in Australia because of the fires, etc., etc. So you go indirectly, but you talk about the topic of the essay's idea. That's the step number 3. We are almost to the last part. We go to step number 4. This is where I call the tuning up. The tuning up is when you make sure that everything you wrote, everything you included before, is going to look perfect. You have to check your writing on what? You need to be almost like a teacher. Pretend to be a teacher. You say, this work must have mistakes. And today I become an investigator. I need to investigate which are those mistakes. Start with a checklist. I put some here, but you can add more. Obviously, start with grammar. Make sure you have no grammar mistakes. You can have those, but it's okay because you were coming from step number 3, which is free writing, and you didn't pay attention to that. Here is where you have to pay attention. Focus on grammar. If the subject is singular, if the verb goes according to the subject with an S, or maybe if you talk about past perfect, it's the past of another past action. I don't know if you use the regular verbs with ed or irregular verbs correctly. Yeah, grammar is very important here. Spelling mistakes. Maybe, British style words, maybe American style words. You don't say center, but you say center with TRE or TER at the end. But don't worry. You can write the essay for Cambridge B2 first in American English. For the American English vocabulary, it's fine. The only thing is, if you start doing it in American English, you must conclude it in American English. If you start with American English and then you decide to put some British words just to be fancy, this will give you less points. So be careful that if it's American English, American English. If it's British, British it is. Okay, the style. What style you're approaching? Is it a friendly style? Don't forget style with register. Eh? The style is the way you want to write. You want to be a serious writer. You want to be a friendly writer. You want to be a neutral writer. That depends on your style. Now, we talk about the register, which is very important. It's formal. Avoid repetitions, avoid contractions, avoid words that are classic for normal speaking conversation. Use the right phrases. Like you can use linking words for right phrases, no? Instead of say so, you say ergo. Instead of saying next, you can say consequently. In options like this, you need to make sure that this writing is showcasing the best of you, the professional version of yourself. Teacher, but I'm in secondary, I'm in 5th of secondary, how professional can I be? You can be as professional as you want to. It just depends on how you put it into words and if you practice into it. Okay, nobody's going to judge and say, no, you're not true, you're a bunch of lies. No, it's not that. You can write it and be professional and sound professional. Make sure that the linking words you use, if they fit, they are fine. Don't use them because you have to use them. everything must to be correct. What happens with redundancy? The same paragraph, maybe you used a word twice or maybe 3 times. Check, maybe it's okay to use it, but if you say, I can use a synonym, that's perfect. Try to omit redundancy is not good. Contractions, we already know why we don't use contractions in the essay. Use elegant words, yes. Try to look up in the dictionary. There are so many options in there. Synonyms, the thesaurus version is very good. Be precise and do not use everyday expressions. Change them into something new. You can add more. Remember, become a teacher and find the mistakes. That was step number 4. And the last step, step number 5, it's what I call improve your score. Teacher, how can I improve my score? Well, in order to do that, you need to know what you are going to be evaluated on. So here are the 4 categories, okay, that you will be evaluated on your writing. The first one is called content. The maximum points you receive in content category is 5. What is the content? It includes the evaluation on if you answer the question, if you included the notes that they provided, if you added an extra note too, the third one, if everything that you include in your essay makes sense or is relevant to the answer. Second category, communicative achievement. You will get 5 maximum points if your essay shows as a communicative tool. If I could read it and understand it, and if the message is transferred to me. How can you do that? Well, planning. If you plan everything is well organized, the paragraphs will connect, and the reader will have the pleasure to receive all the information, at reach. So this is very important. The second category, when the examiner is correcting your essay, they need to ask this question. What was this about? And if they can answer it because they got the information from your essay, then you get 5 points. If it's a little difficult to understand, you probably get 1 point or 2. Okay, organization. You get 5 maximum points if you do from the introduction paragraph to the conclusion paragraph. Maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, as many paragraphs as you need to. But remember to separate them. And every paragraph will be the habitat of the idea. So that's how you can grade the organization part. And the last one, but not least, it's what we call language. In language, you will be evaluated on grammar mistakes, spelling mistakes, collocations, the lack of punctuation marks, capitalization, and also, the register. If you used contractions, for example. So avoid that. And this is very important in order to get a good result for your essay. Now you guys can talk. Any questions? Is everything clear? Pamela says yes. Okay, Pamela, thank you. I hope this can help you guys. All right, now back to the thing. I did as I promised. I explained you in detail the use of the essay. We are fine. What I'm going to do now is exercise number 2. It says, complete these sentences from the essay with the missing words. Then check in the text. What effect do these words have on the sentences? Okay, maybe we can do it quickly. Because what time is it? We have 4 minutes. Come on, guys. How are you, Andres?
I'm fine.
All right, Andres, help me with number 2. Here it says, read and complete. Use words from the text. Here is the text. As you can see, it's smaller. Okay. Mm-hmm. And from this text, we can use some words to complete this task. For example, number 1, this means that these grandparents are getting to spend more time. What is the adjective we can use here to express that it's a lot of time? A good, yes, exactly. Far more time. We express that with far. With their grandchildren than their own parents did. Okay, For number 2.
Indeed. I don't know.
Yes, indeed, exactly. When you talk about something that is totally true, indeed. What effect do these words have on the sentences? The words at,
Emphasis.
very good, Donaire, emphasis. Yeah, these expressions, they add emphasis to the arguments, right? To the sentences.
Yes.
Yeah, all right, let's check. Wonderful. Thank you so much, I appreciate it. Right on time. Have a good Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, Tuesday. Have a good Tuesday. Thank you for helping me. And we continue tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Bye, teacher.
Bye.